Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to Pro Speed Baseball. Today we have another wonderful before and after of one of our Pro Speed Baseball students, and as always, we like to use the before and afters to not only show the power of the Pro Speed Baseball hitting system, but also to teach you guys some stuff at home, because every player's got a little bit different stuff going on, and if you have anything going on in your swing like our student here, this might help you out a lot. So in today's video, we're going to show you one of the big keys to being a great hitter, and that's being synced up. So we all know when we get into impact, we want to be in what we call, in the Pro Speed Baseball hitting system, in forward shoulder tilt. That's when we draw a line through both shoulder sockets, and the top of this line is tilted in towards the infield. This is showing us our checkpoint of getting synced up in our swing. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys what we worked on with our Pro Speed Baseball student here with the weight shift that allows us to get this much more easily. Let's go ahead and get started. So you're not going to get too much argument from any coach or player in the fact that we need a weight shift in our swing. We want to be able to shift our weight. So in the Pro Speed hitting system, we talk about getting the speed of the bat plus the force of the body to hit the ball at the same time. So we have the force of the body, the weight behind the speed in the hit, where the bat's actually moving at its fastest point. So we know that we want a weight shift, but the question that we ask all of our students, and you can ask this to anyone, what are you trying to shift? If you're trying to shift your weight, what exactly are we trying to shift? Well, in the weight shift section of the Pro Speed Baseball hitting system, we tell you exactly that. We answer exactly what we're trying to shift. And what that is, guys, is our center mass. So in every single human being, located roughly about 2 inches below your belly button is your center of mass. Wherever your center of mass is, you can imagine trying to drop a string off your center mass. Wherever that is, that's where your weight is. So if your center mass is on top of your back foot, meaning if the 2 inches below your belly button is on top of your back foot, your weight is on top of your back foot. If it's on top of your lead foot, it's on top of your lead foot. If it's in the middle of your feet, it's in the middle of your feet. That's where your weight is. So in order to shift our weight, we literally have to move our center of mass. So that's the key. So if we're actually going to shift, this is what we're going to shift. So what I'm going to show you guys here in the before swing is how we have a lack of a weight shift. So we can kind of imagine the belt buckle is kind of a good rough estimate to where the center of mass is. So we have the belt buckle. So you're going to see here in the before swing, there's a little bit of a weight shift, but then it stops. Now this is where we get into some trouble. When our weight stays directly in between our feet or somewhere in between our feet, we're going to get what we call a reverse pivot. That means that our hips are going to pivot backwards. And if you actually zoom in here and look at the lead hip, you're going to see if I draw a line off that lead hip, the hip's actually going to move away from this line. That means our hips are going backwards through the swing. Because of the way that our body's built, if our center of mass stays in between our feet, we are going to work backwards through impact. So you can clearly see here in the before swing that the shoulders are wide open. So this is called bat drag, hand drag. The chest is pointing up the center of the field. So our shoulders have flown way open, and our hands have dragged behind our body. Now, if you look over here in the after swing, if we look in the belt buckle area, we are going to see a very clear indication of this weight shift moving forward through impact. So we're seeing the weight shift on to the lead foot. So just like if you're throwing a baseball, or if you're bowling, or if you're hitting a tennis shot, you are shifting onto your lead foot. We want to be light up on this back foot when we're coming into impact, so we know that we have shifted our weight. Now, this is also why we see a lot of players in the big leagues and really good hitters, when their stance is too wide, their back foot comes off of the ground a little bit. But we can clearly see how the center mass is moving forward here in the after swing, and we're clearly much easier getting into a synced up position in forward shoulder tilt. So if we look at the before, we have what we call the Pro Speed Baseball hitting system neutral shoulder tilt. Occasionally we'll get reverse shoulder tilt where the shoulders are tilting backwards, but the fact that we're shifting our weight forward is going to much more easily allow us to stay synced up, meaning we are not going to open too soon. So in the swing, of course, the hips are going to open and the body is going to finish and whatnot, but we want to think about this more for you guys at home as a lateral rotation versus just sitting in the middle of our feet and spinning. We want to move forward while we are rotating. And it's a very easy thing for you guys at home to understand that if you are moving your center of mass forward, you can rotate at the same time and get into a forward shoulder tilt, beautifully released position so much more easily. So for those of you joining us on YouTube, we got a great bonus for you. We're actually going to play the first progression of the weight shift drills from the All Access membership library that you can get instant access to simply by clicking on the iCard that's popping up in the top right-hand portion of your screen. That video is going to show you the very first progression of what we worked on with our student here to start getting that center of mass moving forward, but also it's going to start showing you the progressions of how we're actually doing that with the swing, which is extremely important. So guys, be sure to check that out. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys soon. I'm going to now start showing how our weight shift is involved with the release of the bat. We just simply need to understand exactly where we want to be in our weight shift. So we're going to get a lot more specific. We're going to be talking about the timing of getting the back pocket in front of the tee at the same time we're hitting the ball. But the first thing we need to do, guys, is we need to rep this out and make sure that we can definitely get the weight transfer that we need. So we're going to put our arms across our chest. We're going to get at least 100 repetitions